Laker fans, the hell's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being part of the show. A little post game show after the post game show. Um, just finished on 7:10, so now we'll do a little YouTube action. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We got a lot to get into. I know, not exactly the night we were all hoping for. But I got some things that I think have a little bit of a positive twist to it that I want to keep kind of in mind when it comes to just the I guess you could say put some stuff into perspective. So we'll talk about the game. I want to spend some time talking about that starting lineup for the Lakers and a couple of those guys. I'm gonna I think spend a little time talking about how they just have not been coming through, or they weren't coming through for today. It wasn't just Anthony Davis. Talk about AD as well. D'Lo, another big night for him. I thought the Lakers bench was great again. And give them some credit. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but the Knicks kind of pushed around the Lakers, did what they needed to do, and came out with a win. So that part's unfortunate. But I don't think the world is going to end, even though you go look at the standings and it might look like it sort of may end, but it's not going to end. So appreciate you all being a part of the show. If you guys don't mind, please subscribe to the channel. We've had, at least for me, lot more people subscribing to the channel, so I greatly appreciate that. Super chat is on as well if you guys want to get anything read on through the super chat. Okay, so let me start off with this. Let me start off with just kind of the outlook of the game. I was hoping for, before the weekend started, that the Lakers would split these games. You had Toronto and you had New York. And I thought they're going to be battles. The Knicks game I thought might be a little bit easier just because Knicks played yesterday and then Jalen Brunson's not in the lineup as well. But after the Lakers beat the Raptors on Friday night, it was, all right, we'll get greedy. You already got that one. Let's see if you can grab both for the weekend. And they ended up splitting the two games. I think coming into this 5-game homestand, if you guys remember, I said, go 3-2 over this 5-game homestand. Of course, if you got an opportunity to be greedy, awesome, do it. But they ended up losing losing the first one against Minnesota, losing the last one against the Knicks, and then they won those 3 in between: Warriors, Memphis, and Toronto. So those are the 3 games that the Lakers got. So I think just in general, I think the Lakers are doing what they need to do to go get one of those play-in spots and going from there. And I'm actually not crazy about the position that the Lakers are in. But right out the gate, the game against the Knicks, I think Lakers went up maybe 7 or so early on. And then the Knicks just kind of grinded out the game. You had Julius Randle go on a stretch where he just looked absolutely unstoppable. What do you have, 25 in the first half, something along those lines? He looked unstoppable, hitting shots, hitting the glass. They were killing the Lakers on the glass. They're also killing the Lakers at the free throw line, which I'll get into in just a second. But the Knicks definitely did some stuff where it was kind of a different look for the Lakers. It's more of an old school, let's bang with them, let's be super, super physical. So not your typical West Coast team or more of a finesse team. The Knicks are trying to push you around, bully you around. So Randall goes through a stretch where he looks amazing. He looks fantastic. And then finally, when you felt like you had Randall under control, R.J. Barrett won the Knicks the game. I mean, R.J. Barrett was nowhere near 30 points and then went on. I think at the half he had 10 points, something along those lines. I want to say he had 10, something along those lines. He had 20 in the second half. So a lot of his damage went through a stretch where Julius Randle was getting some rest and R.J. Barrett looked like he couldn't be stopped. And Lakers had a lot of defensive moments, defensive lapses. But R.J. Barrett, as much as everybody's going to talk about Julius Randle, I thought R.J. Barrett won them the game. That stretch he had, I want to call it the third quarter, maybe even early fourth. He took what the Lakers eventually I felt like we're playing from behind for the most part all game. I felt like the Knicks controlled the tempo of the game. I felt like the Knicks were the enforcers in the game. So I know Laker fans want to be upset, which you could be, you should be, all that stuff. But it's not like the Knicks didn't come ready to play tonight. They're 40-30 on the season for a reason, sitting in 5th place in the Eastern Conference for a reason, and they played like it tonight. So I'm disappointed in the Lakers, but I also am going to give the New York Knicks a lot of credit because I thought they played good basketball. Okay, now for what the Lakers control on their side, a lot of the attention is going to go to Anthony Davis, which is fine. We'll get to AD in just a second. Troy Brown Jr. went 0 of 8 from the field, missed a lot of really good shots, and was 0 of 7 from the three-point line. That's a killer for the Lakers. Malik Beasley continues. I feel like I'm the only one saying this on a consistent basis. Not on a consistent basis, but I feel like I'm pointing him out more and more. Beasley's incredibly streaky when it comes to shooting, and it's much more the wrong way than the right way. Beasley, 4-12 from the field, goes 2 of 8 from the three-point line. He has had a game or two where you're like, oh, Beasley, nice stats. But for the most part, the guy basically is taking this, whatever amount of points he has, that's how many shots he's taken. That's not efficient. So you shouldn't be taking 12 shots to get 10 points. You shouldn't be taking 8 shots to get 8 points. That's not how that math is supposed to work. So I thought Troy Brown Jr. and Malik Beasley really hurt the Lakers, where they had good looks, but they could not hit shots. And Jared Vanderbilt had a quiet night tonight as well. Just 2 points. Did have 3 steals, but 5 rebounds, 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field. So right out the gate, that's a drastic difference from what the Lakers were getting from, some of these role players over these last couple of wins. So before we get into Anthony Davis, which I know people are going to want to talk about Anthony Davis, don't forget those starters were not delivering for the Lakers tonight. And if Troy Brown Jr. is 0 of 8 from the field and 0 of 7 from 3, Beasley's not hitting his threes as well. Vanderbilt really wasn't really didn't have an impact on this game. Then that's where teams can say, well, screw it. Let's load up on Anthony Davis and take our chances with the other guys. And that worked in favor of the New York Knicks tonight. Okay. Before I get into Anthony Davis, let's see if we got anything here that I want to read. Going 3-2, not going to get Lakers in playoffs, not good enough. I disagree. Go look at those NBA standings right now. Go look at the last 10 games. Pay attention to how these teams are doing over their last 10 games. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 4-6 in their last 10. The Mavs are 3-7 in their last 10. The Jazz are 5-5. The Thunder are 5-5. The Pelicans and the Blazers are 3-7. Lakers are 7-3 in their last 10. Lakers have been winning some games, and I think this winning 6 of 10 type of a mark is going to get you into the playoffs. Now, it's going to get you in the play-in, and then you got to win in the play-in in order to, obviously take care of business from there. But I disagree on the stretch that the Lakers have been on. I think they're playing good basketball, and I think it's enough actually to get them in based on what other teams are doing too. Nobody's running away with it. This 7-12 or 7-13. It's 2 post-game shows in a row, Laker fans. Sometimes you just got to sneeze. That's 2 post games in a row where I've sneezed. So let me just throw that out there. But I do think that the Lakers are playing as good as any of those teams from 7 all the way to 13. And if they keep playing like that the rest of the way, they're going to end up in that play-in. The question is going to be where they're going to be in the play-in. Then you got to win some games from there. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, listen to O.C. O'Neal. Notification bell, share, super chat, the whole thing. Please subscribe. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Thank you, Laker Wisdom. Thank you, my brother. Let's see what we got here. Jared Vanderbilt shouldn't be on RJ. I don't know. I wouldn't think that that's, a bad matchup right there. I would have liked to see AD on Julius a lot more. I'll tell you that much. I would have liked to have seen that. Definitely have seen that more. A lot of people going after Darvin Ham. A lot of people going after Darvin Ham. Okay, let's do this. Right on right now, tell me what exactly you want to complain about with Darvin Ham so I could read some of these comments, I could address them. I'll tell you whether I agree, whether I disagree, but tell me specifically. Don't say Darvin Ham's the problem. Tell me exactly what it is that you do not like about Darvin Ham, whether it's tonight's game or it's some other reference, and then we could talk a little bit about it. So if you got something, let me know and I'll put it in. Okay. I'll read this one. Rotations. Okay, fair. I thought I tweeted out during the game. Probably a good idea to take Troy Brown Jr. out right now. Let me give you a good example of what I would have done tonight, but I'm not the head coach, nor would they ever make such a awful idea to hire me as a head coach. But I'm just going to give you one example for tonight. That was frustrating for me. I think sometimes you play players that are just not having a good night. They're not having a good night. Troy Brown was not having a good night. Beasley, I think sometimes we're forcing Beasley. Beasley's going to get it going. Beasley's going to get it going. I thought tonight would have been perfect to say, okay, these guys do not have it going. Let me try Lonnie Walker. Let's get Lonnie Walker in there. Let's use Lonnie Walker, throw him in, and take my chances with Lonnie Walker on a night that a couple of my other guys just do not have their shot fallen. Let me try Lonnie Walker. So if that's what you mean by rotations, I'm going to agree with that portion of it. Another thing, D'Angelo was cooking. D'Angelo had a moment where he was cooking. I hate when coaches sometimes will take one of their players out because they'll take one of their players out simply because it's time to take them out. Yeah, but if they're cooking, you give them a couple extra minutes. Let's see if you could ride that momentum. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to that. All right, let's see what else people got here. But you got to sleep well tonight because tomorrow's Monday and we got to come back on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So get some rest. Okay. Ham, no timeout in the last play. Okay, I'm trying to think which play that you're talking about. Are you talking about where it's time to foul? Because if you're talking about that, I'm not going to fully agree with you on that because I'll tell you why you don't call timeout. I don't know if that's the play that you're talking about because Dennis Schroeder goes in, hits a two. Lakers basically didn't foul in time, but what they're trying to do was trap. I don't think you foul right away. I do think you trap. I think that's the right thing to do. But there was about 11 seconds left on the clock when they should have fouled. They didn't foul till 5-6 seconds. And the Knicks were obviously playing keep away against the Lakers. So they just kind of outplayed the Lakers on that. Who was it that said that? I think Schroeder said, yeah, they were just really good tonight. They were smart. They weren't letting us catch them. So I don't know if that's specifically on coach on that one. Flow of game management. Okay. Don't like the small ball lineups. That I can't always agree with you. I wasn't crazy of the Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo because that was a small lineup. But I think he, thought he wanted all three of those guys to kind of help close the game. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, okay. This goes back to the why didn't they foul earlier with 18 seconds left? That's on him. Now, I disagree. I do think you trap, but I think the moment that the trap is over and then you get the ball, they get the ball over half court, that's when you need to foul. They lost 7-8 seconds there, which, by the way, then you could play the free throw game. Josh Hart hit both free throws, and then that was the game. You didn't really have any more opportunities. So I understand that. I get that part of it. Okay. I am now going to get into AD because a lot of people want to talk about Anthony Davis. I haven't got a chance yet to talk about Anthony Davis. AD tonight was 8 of 18 from the field, 37 minutes of play, 17 points, 16 rebounds, and was 1 of 5 from the free throw line. So something happened on Friday that I think every team should follow suit on. AD's been so good that teams are saying, cool, we're going to go ahead and throw 2 guys at the guy. We're going to deny him. We're going to make sure Troy Brown Jr. and Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura and Dennis Schroeder and Austin Reeves, we were going to make sure that those guys beat us, not Anthony Davis. So teams are obviously adjusting to Anthony Davis. Now, where AD can help himself is, cool, you can go ahead and do that, and I'm going to do one of 2 things. A, I'm either going to try to draw contact either way through 2 guys, and I'm going to figure out a way to get to the free throw line and take 12 free throws a game and then send some of these guys into, on the bench in foul trouble, or I'm going to find my open guys and hopefully my guys will hit them. So then those defenses have to stay on the wings or they have to stay on the shooters. So then AD's got more space to operate. Neither of those happened tonight. AD got to the free throw line 5 times, not 12 times. AD made 1 of 5 free throws. He missed 4. Lakers lost the game by 4. Now, as a team, Lakers only took 17 free throws, and they were 10 to 17 from the free throw line. You shot below 60% from the free throw line, so that obviously didn't help the Lakers as well. They hurt themselves in that process. So not a good night for AD, but I think I really do pay attention. There's a trickle effect here. If Troy Brown Jr. is hitting the shots, Beasley's hitting the shots, all of a sudden these teams can't double off of Anthony Davis. And now they got to kind of play him a little bit more straight up. That didn't happen. AD wasn't aggressive enough. Next thing you look, the Knicks end up being the Lakers 112 to 108. All right, let me read some of these comments here. And listen, fair criticism. I think some people got some fair, people finding certain points to make about what they didn't like about the Lakers. That's all good. That's fair. Whenever you lose a game, you're trying to kind of point the finger of, okay, what went wrong and what are the Lakers, what they got to do from here. Okay, I got 2 more things that I want to do here. First, I want to point out the standings, and then I want to point out the next couple of games for the Lakers. So I'm going to say the same thing that I said again to start the show. I'm not overly disappointed of the Lakers spot right now. I'm not. I think 33 and 35, it's not ideal. Of course, wish they were 34 and 34. But I think 2 games below 500, how much ground they've made up since the All-Star break. They are right in the thick of things, Laker fans. It's not like they're 4 games back from the 10th spot or the 9th spot or the 7th spot. No, they're 1 game back from the 7th spot. That loss did push them back, so now they're technically in a 4-way tie. But because of tiebreakers, whatever the case is, Lakers now in the 11th spot. I'm not. I don't feel awful about the position that the Lakers are in. I think they're playing good basketball. I think D'Angelo coming back is obviously a big thing. So I think Lakers obviously got some work to do. But the rest of the way, I think the Lakers will continue to win more games than they lose. And if they're in a spot where they're winning, they've won 7 of their last 10. If you're winning 7 of your next 10, you're going to be probably in that 7th spot. But I think what's more realistic, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. This one coming up against the Pelicans. Pelicans are 33 and 35. You're 33 and 35. If you lose that game, you also lose the tiebreaker. So technically, that could be a 2-game swing. And to lose that momentum that you've gained and lose again on Tuesday, that would be a devastating one. That would actually be a real gut punch there, because now you're behind and you're looking up at everybody else again. This is what the Lakers got this week. And if they play their cards right, it could be a really, really good week. But I think you got to win that game on Tuesday against the Pelicans. So you got the Pelicans coming up on Tuesday, and then a second of a back-to-back against the Rockets coming up on Wednesday. I have no idea if AD is going to play in the back-to-backs, but there's 2 left, and this is one of them. He didn't play in the second of a back-to-back earlier in the month. He didn't play in that March 1st game. So I'm curious to see what happens over these 2 games. But for the week, Laker fans, you got the Pelicans the struggling Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, who are not playing good basketball, and Luka and Kyrie have been out of the lineup, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to go on Friday. And then the struggling Orlando Magic. And two of those four games, the Dallas and the Orlando game, is going to be at home. So this 2-game road trip can really set the Lakers up for a nice stretch here. And I think the number, you got to get 3 or 4 here. And I think it's very doable. I think it's very realistic to get 3 or 4. But that Pelicans game, just keep an eye out on Tuesday. That's a big one. And unfortunately for the Lakers, they've played the Pelicans last year in big games. They played them this year, earlier in the season, when the Pelicans, I think, had lost 10 games in a row. Zion wasn't in that game, and the Lakers lost that one too. So the Lakers have lost some critical games against the Pelicans. That can't happen again. I'm going to look here. I know Ingram didn't go in the last one. So we're going to see, obviously what the deal is with Brandon Ingram and if he's going to be able to go on Tuesday. Jose Alvarado, I know he's going to miss, or he's already missed a couple of weeks with a stress reaction. So we'll see who ends up playing, but I don't think I have to tell Laker fans just how critical of a game this one's coming up on Tuesday. All right, Laker fans. I think that is all I got. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Somebody's asking, when will LeBron be reevaluated? I don't know. Well, you could call it another 2 weeks or so now, but he's not wearing that walking boot anymore. At least we didn't see that walking boot today, so that's obviously some good news. Laker fans, appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. We'll get back with you guys Tuesday after the Lakers take on the Pelicans. Plus, tomorrow when Lakers talk's over, I'm going to take that, throw it up here on YouTube, and hope you guys enjoy that episode as well. Thank you, Laker fans. Appreciate it, and hope you guys have a good rest of your night.